So let's drop the white pill on Iran. Now, I have lots of dear friends who are Persians who care deeply about what's going on in Iran, and um, I've had many long conversations with them where they've really, tried to educate and explain to me what's happened there and the history of it, which is tragic, and a country that was heading towards freedom, overtaken by tyranny, theocracy, and all of the terror and the oppression and the poverty that always comes from somewhat form of tyranny is present. Whether that's theocracy, foreign rule, communism, whatever form it is, it's awful compared to the beauty of freedom and liberal democracy and the prosperity and the happiness and the safety that comes from that on this wonderful journey we are on liberal democracies. We're only around 200 years and we've made a lot of progress and we still have some ways to go. But it is definitely the best path. But let's drop the white pill on Iran. So these beautiful people that I know and dear friends, and they all express a similar sentiment that it's horrible what's going on, that the people they know in Iran, it's a state that's being oppressed and ruled over, and they want it to change. They want to get away from it. They do not want this, and desperately so, and they tell me all kinds of stories of the horrible things that have gone on and are still going on there. But the problem is they've never expressed to me what they would like instead. Sometimes they talk a little bit about it'd be nice if the Tsar returned or something like that, kind of a vague sort of preference for something moving forward, but they don't have a plan as to what they want instead. And unfortunately that really holds things back. And that's just the truth. It's just sorry. You can go and march and protest and people get lives lost, but all you were protesting were, we don't want this current system because it's horrible. But it's not enough. You need to know what you want. You need to know what you're working towards, what you're building towards. And that's the red pill. So let's drop the white pill on it. And the white pill is simply this, is that Iran and the people of Iran and the Persians and the people that are supporting Iran to get freed from a current state of oppression and tyranny, they need to know what they want to move towards. And what they really want is to become a liberal democracy. Because, as I talk about in my book, Journey to Democracy, the End of Tyranny and all that stuff, quite clearly break it down. It is the best system ever for happiness, for safety, for well-being, for prosperity, for everything. And all the countries of the world need to adopt it. But there's only 25 currently out of 197 countries. There's only like 8% of the world living in liberal democracy. So what the people of Iran need to say is, this is what we want. We want to become a liberal democracy. And they need to understand the pillars of freedom that it's built on, and I break it down to 5 pillars in the book. And they're quite clear. Like, liberal democracies have been around for 200 years. We know exactly how they're created and what keeps them free from tyranny and keeps them wonderful. And again, I'm not trying to say liberal democracies are some kind of utopia, far from it. They're quite messy, really. But we do know when we look at them empirically, they are statistically, people living in those are far better off and happier and safer and live longer and have just a better quality of life and better rights and freedoms and so on, and better education and lots of good things. And we do know that liberal democracies have this wonderful ability to self-criticize and self-reflect, and they can go astray, but they have this wonderful ability to self-correct and get on track again. And that's really what's happening, and they're new. They've only been around 200 years, so they're brand new. So the people of Iran and all the people that support them, if they were to become aware of this, if they were to wake up to this, if they were to take this white pill, all of a sudden they wouldn't be just saying, we don't want this anymore. They would say, this is what we want. We want to become a liberal democracy. All of that energy and all of those people could work together to erect the pillars of freedom that create a liberal democracy. And again, I break down the 5 pillars in the book. And they could just systematically work towards that. And they could realize that, all the other liberal democracies in the world want them to achieve this too, So that is the white pill on Iran. And as I said, it's nobody's talking about this. Nobody's suggesting this should be the path. And I think that's going to change over the next 5 to 10 years. I think the world is going to wake up and all these wonderful countries are going to really decide to become liberal democracies. And the interesting thing is, you can't make a nation become a liberal democracy. You have to choose it because it's freedom. The people of it have to say, we want to be citizens of a liberal democracy. We want to create this. We want our freedom. The people have to be awake and choose it. You cannot make it. You cannot force it upon them. Now, when they do choose to want it, you can certainly be their ally and support them and guide them in all kinds of wonderful ways. But it starts really with education and helping them to explain this to them so that they might decide to choose this. Anyway, hope you took something from that.